Hey, what's up, everybody? We are going to switch gears today with our very first review for a fiction titled science fiction, to be more specific. We are looking at the 1969 space epic The Palace of Eternity by Bob Shaw. And I want to take a second and acknowledge that cover artwork. This was painted by Leo and Diane Dillon. I looked up their work and I was blown away. I love this stuff. And they have countless works like this one, and they're all just so good. Seriously, when you get done watching this video, Google Leo and Diane Dillon. Their stuff is pretty incredible. So, our first fiction review goes out to a YouTube channel called Bookpilled. This guy does a lot of reviews and discussions on sci-fi books, which he sells, mostly vintage ones, just like this one. And he reads more sci-fi books than I can count. And he said that this book was one of the best sci-fi books he's ever read, so I bought it. I figure for a guy who's read so many sci-fi books, his judgment ought to be pretty good. And you know what? This book absolutely did not disappoint. So thank you to Bookpilled. I'm sorry I don't know your actual name. And this guy, he's actually one of my inspirations for starting this channel. So I thought it looked like a lot of fun, and it is. So thank you again to Bookpilled. So this book is sci-fi, but it is much more than that. It also deals heavily with themes of life and death and states that exist in between, and sort of like a tangible collective consciousness sort of thing for all life with sufficiently complex nervous systems. And the author has come up with some really interesting ways of exploring this. I really can't say much about it because all the interesting concepts that made this such a good read would be spoilers, and I really think it'd be worth your time to just read it. It's 222 small pages, and it really does go by quick. You're going to want to do it in very few sittings because it's just a really cool experience. What I can tell you is that the worlds Bob Shaw has created are alive with description. This is a story about an alien invasion in the future as experienced through the character Mac Taverner. I know it doesn't sound too original, and maybe it's not, but the execution here is what makes this story. And you have to remember this is over 50 years old. So we get fleshed out concepts in technology and biology, like ships that can travel at 30,000 times the speed of light, and descriptions of aliens were really cool and super detailed. He says that they were black and pale blue bipeds with opaque, lifeless eyes that independently swivel on an otherwise featureless brain case. 7 foot tall piles of bone and slime with organs on the outside, with two sets of arms, triple segmented arms and legs with webbed hands and feet, and multiple mouths. They are nightmares realized in obsidian. I think this author really nails descriptive writing without sounding too descriptive. You know, like when books can start to sound like poetry. This book doesn't do that. Bob Shaw strikes a perfect approach to his description, and that makes his worlds and their occupants and environments really special. If that's not enough to arouse interest, I can also say that this is one of those books that manages to continuously get better and better as you progress through it. You know how some books have a really good beginning or a middle or an end. Well, this one is like a progressive increase the whole way. But the beginning parts are really good too, so the whole thing is good. Now the ending didn't blow me away, but it was a satisfying conclusion. This I would say this is the best sci-fi I've read in its page range, which is not a long book, and but it feels like it accomplishes as much as a longer novel. Have you ever read like a 500-page novel and thought, well, that was really great, but they probably could have cut out a couple hundred pages? That is The Palace of Eternity. So yeah, really cool book. Well, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And thanks again to Bookpilled. If you like this, go check out his channel. You'll be exposed to a lot of excellent vintage sci-fi. Definitely check out the artwork of Leo and Diane Dillon, and of course, go pick up The Palace of Eternity by Bob Shaw.